Welcome back to the Untrained, Unprofessional Workbench. I have a pile of stuff. Before we get into the main part of what I wanted to talk about in this video, I thought I would go over a change that I had made with the holster. Honestly, I can't remember if I talked about this, but I decided not to go with the Safariland holster just because I didn't like the thumb placement, where after I defeat the ALS, it puts my thumb pretty low. Granted, I could train out, and then you hear my dogs barking at Halloween trick-or-treaters. So, but just didn't like where I had to adjust my grip. So, changing from the Safariland, and I went over to the T-Rex Arms Ragnarok. Now, just a word about this, T-Rex does not make a Prodigy holster. This is actually for the Staccato, and I've had to kind of do some modifications to it. And if you're going to buy a T-Rex holster that is the Staccato, and you're going to heat up some areas to try to get it to work correctly, I would just say that before you do, feel perfectly fine with the idea that you may be buying a new holster if you don't do it right. So, but if you're willing to take the risk and you go slow and you do it a little bit at a time, you should probably be okay. Now, I will, when T-Rex comes out with a Prodigy holster, I'll probably go ahead and purchase one just to have the correct holster for it. So, but if you're wondering what I did to modify the holster, I kept it very simple. I did not put any heat where the trigger guard is, which is where the retention is. I actually put the heat here on this spine, because on the Prodigy it pinches pretty hard, or at least on mine, it pinches pretty hard along the slide and the rail. And it was doing so much that, which, empty gun, that it was actually shaving the plastic here off of the holster on this sharp edge. So yeah. The other thing that helped me while I was doing this, I took some blue painter's tape and I put several layers along the slide here, so that way it would create that natural distance between the holster and the slide and frame, and then heated it up and did my tweaking. So that's all I did. Alright, so I kind of got myself into an interesting situation in which I bought parts for the 4 1/4 for the upgrades, and I shot, which I'm reshooting this video, but I shot the first part of the video talking about which parts that I got, which would be the EGW lightened hammer kit, the ignition kit. And after the video, I just decided that I would just see how close to drop in the parts were. Well, I dropped in the sear and the hammer, and you know, it's like everything was going so smoothly and everything, I just kept them in, and I was actually readjusting the slide safety for the new sear. And as I was doing that, I was realizing that I wasn't recording because I wasn't planning on recording. So I have a new ignition kit with the new 19-pound mainspring in it and the hammer and sear. And I will tell you that the trigger, which was about 5, is now about 4 pounds 6 ounces, was the last time I checked it. And it feels so much better, which caused a problem, because I basically went to the 5-inch and went, oh, that definitely does not feel as nice. It went from a trigger that I felt was fairly decent to, yeah, I don't like it. Not that it's bad, but when you can have this and just have it be so wonderful, it caused a lot of financial turmoil to where I started looking at, okay, well, my plans for the 5-inch was to run it stock for at least another 1,000 rounds or until something broke, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I've already bought parts. I have some parts coming. I'm going to go with awesomeness, which I hope that's okay. And I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to tweak this out, other than, yes, I do have a new slide safety, and that's going to be the Wilson Combat Bulletproof. I have a 10/8, actually two, one for each. I still need to get safety for the 4 1/4. I got the 10/8 Performance machined slide lock coming, so it's basically the same design. And then I put a shock buff in it because I could. I'm gonna put this, I actually bought this Ed Brown extractor for this. I need to order another one, but it's gonna come for the 5-inch. Of course, the sear, the disconnector, mainspring, the 19-pound, a lightened hammer, which this is the two-tone. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually not that bad, and this one's 100% black. And then I got a titanium hammer strut for it. So, what else am I going to do to this? I don't know. I'm toying with the idea. I have an 11-pound ISMI competition spring that I'm toying with, and I have a 10-pound Wilson Combat. Yeah, that's where we're at. I still need to finish what I'm going to do with this. What I'm also still waiting on for parts to be available is, I've never liked this 2-piece guide rod. I think it's dumb because I want to be able to field strip if I have to out in the field without having a tool with me. So I always carry tools with me, but just in case if I don't, I want to be able to take it down and do whatever I need to do to it, whether it's a clean, a lube, or just fondle the parts. So, fondle. Can I say fondle on YouTube? I think in this case we're fine. Fondling the gun parts. Let's be clear. So guys, that's where we're at. Have some parts that I'm still trying to track down, like the guide rod. I want to go with a 1-piece Atlas Gunworks guide rod, because, sorry, it's a toolless guide rod, because that feels like it would be better to me. So, but there we are. That's a quick update. And, oh, sorry. I also bought this video from 10/8 Performance, and I think I am going to go through and do the modifications that he suggests. And just so you know, this is 6 hours, 3 DVDs of how to work on your 1911 and what to do to make it as duty reliable as possible. And I kind of like that. You know, some of it is dehorning, you know, some of these sharp edges, you know, to keep you from cutting up your hands or whatnot. So hopefully the next time you see these, you'll see where I rubbed off the Cerakote and rounded edges and just made things more comfortable. But it was also to just help make it more reliable in general. So there we are. Well, I promise this time I'm done. I'm not going to add anything else as I'm looking around on the table to make sure that I didn't forget anything else. So, but there's an update from here on out for any of the training videos. I'm going to go back to my Glock 17. It's a Gen 4. It will work. So there we are. All right, guys, have a good one. Enjoy, and we'll hopefully see these guys as soon as possibly can.